People ask me, what is expand the box training? And well, I want to tell you a story. It's a totally fictional story, and it's relevant for expand the box training, and yeah, maybe it is relevant for your life too. Let's say there's this girl born. I'm saying it's a girl, but it could be, the gender is really irrelevant. And let's say her name is Claire. Claire has been in her mom's belly for 9 months, and it's cozy and warm and tight, and she's going through this transformational process that I can't remember and can't imagine how impactful that is for a little being being born. Well, Claire is born in a hospital. She comes out of that warm, dark space into bright light, sterile environment, cold air, and she's greeted by hands that wear rubber gloves. She's shocked. She won't remember that later in her life, but there's this shock in her little system. And without knowing it, she makes an unconscious decision that life is, or this world is not what she thought it would be. This world is cold and she doesn't fit in. There's no warmth here. It's what she might decide unconsciously. As Claire grows slowly into her full body, she notices and becomes more aware of her environment day by day. And she loves touching things and putting them in her mouth to taste them and to feel their shape with her tongue. And the older she gets, the more she hears, don't eat this. This is yuck. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. So Claire, over time and quickly, learns that a lot of things you don't do. They're not allowed. And she keeps growing up and might go to kindergarten and learn that when she falls and trips and falls and hurts her knee, that don't cry because look, it's gone, there's nothing. Claire learns that her sensing pain must be wrong because there's nothing. It's better to not feel that, because if the adults in the room say it's not real, then it's probably not real. With very subtle messages, Claire learns that the world is a certain way, and her inner lust for exploration and her senses that feel pain are not valid. Claire eventually goes to school, and here she might have learned things like, I have to answer questions. I have to find the right answer to questions. I have to function well to fit in. I have to function well to be a loved peer amongst my schoolmates. And by the time Claire turns 18 or 16, whichever culture she lives in, she will have learned a lot of things about the world that will have cemented a certain worldview for her already. Instead of an initiation into adulthood, she is offered car keys. Maybe she is offered alcohol because now it's okay to drink. What she doesn't receive is an initiation into knowing who she is deep inside, what dreams are buried deep under these layers of conditionings that she's taken on over time, over the years. And Claire has different options now. She can continue her life based on these assumptions that she made about the world, that she took on as the offers were made from the outer world, from the environment. She can continue living her life based on the things that she learned as a child and based on which she developed her survival strategy. This worldview, this layers of conditioning, these many decisions that she has made to get along in the world with people like these, as someone like her, that those layers are her box, are her survival strategy, her worldview, serving a noble purpose, serving her to somehow get along in the world. You may have noticed that Claire doesn't seem to have had a particularly violent environment. She was loved by her parents. She had a good education. She had siblings with whom she could argue. She wasn't physically violated. Now imagine what kind of beliefs Claire would have, was she not Claire, but maybe Dave, who grew up with parents who would lock him into his room and not give him food for 2 days if he wasn't nice to them. Or, I mean, a lot of really bad things happen to children, and it makes sense that their survival strategy, their box, creates certain habits, makes certain decisions. Between the age of 16 and 18, both Claire and Dave would have been ready to be initiated into adulthood, meaning their defense mechanism, their survival mechanism was ready to transform to become expansive instead of defensive. And expansive so that they could keep evolving and learn new things rapidly so that they could be their destiny in action, so that they could pursue their dreams and create this world, create this culture that their heart knows is possible. Expand the Box training does that. It offers the first leg on a journey, or maybe it's the second, third, fourth leg for whoever has gone other initiation steps. It offers a kickstart into modern initiation into adulthood, which involves unconditioning, unlearning, which involves feeling, learning to really feel again, to sense in your physical body and to feel in your emotional body, in your heart. And it's a scary journey because this life that Claire and Dave have led till today seems so real. There's so much evidence for that fact that the world can only be this way. And the peculiar thing about worldviews or boxes is from the inside, they don't look necessarily like a box. They look like reality. So we really need a team. We need other human beings to be able to see what we can't see because it's like air, or like for fish, like the water, you just take it for granted. It takes a team and takes other human beings with consciousness to help Claire and Dave unfold their being, that part of them that is excited about life and exploration and sensing and being in the very moment without an agenda, without all the don'ts. So learning to be a fully grown adult that gives himself or herself permission to do the next thing because they have to do this next thing. Even if the whole world says it's impossible. Even if the whole world says, you're crazy. And that is what the world needs. It needs human beings that are willing to really be human beings. And that is why I'm excited about Expand the Box training.